You probably already know about the power of positive affirmations, and in this video I'm going to show you how to supercharge them, making them actionable and much more effective. And if you don't know what positive affirmations are, I'll be covering that as well, so stay tuned and let's turn your dreams into reality. So I've been using positive affirmations for the better part of my archery career, and they've made a huge difference in my journey from more of a club level shooter into a high level performer on the international scale. So not only can you use positive affirmations to make yourself a better athlete, you can also make yourself a better human in any way, shape, or form. But I'm going to share with you how to apply it to archery and how to become a higher level archer if you choose to do so. Now, what positive affirmations are in a nutshell is something that you're wanting and stating it in a way that you have already achieved it. Not necessarily that you're willing to fight for it or will become something, because everybody wants to be something. Like, for example, my affirmation was, I am an Olympian, period. It's very simple and very powerful. Many people will get affirmations wrong by saying, I want to be an Olympian. That doesn't work, because what you're saying is what you're wanting to be, and you're putting into the universe and you're putting out there and talking to yourself about things that you want, not things that you are. And if you try to change your mindset to being in the place of where you already have achieved it, you start to act very differently. I like to say you fake it till you make it, and it's almost as if it changes your entire existence to revolve around the way that you're thinking and doing and approaching a subject. For example, being an Olympian. Does an Olympian get up early and train hard? Yes. So maybe just stating to myself, I am an Olympian, period, is enough to get me off the couch sooner, get me out on the range sooner, and allow me to stay there longer because I'm acting as if I already am an Olympian and I'm starting to become one, if that makes sense. So it's very, very important to put tense to the actual statement. Not you're wanting to be, not you're going to be, not you're fighting for. It's as if you already are, as if you have already arrived. I am, period. I am an Olympian. I am an excellent archer. I am a world champion. Whatever it may be, and add a period at the end, because then it's a very solid, specific statement. Now, what you do with those affirmations can make or break whether or not it actually happens, and I'm going to cover that in a second, but first I'm going to show you how to actually supercharge your affirmations to make them more actionable, more applicable, and much stronger for you as the individual, because that's ultimately who they're for. They're for you. They're not for anyone else. They're not for projecting out into the world. They're for you to hold on to your own and to keep it close to you, because that's who needs to change, or who is wanting to change, who is wanting to be an Olympian, who is an Olympian, not who wants to be an Olympian. That's the difference there. In the past, I had used the very basic and very broad range of affirmations of I'm an Olympian, I'm an Olympic champion, I'm a world-class archer, whatever that may be, but that's where it really ended, and that's a problem, because what can make it much more important, much more impactful, and much more actionable, as I like to say, is to add more context to it. So, for example, I am an Olympian because I run my mental program more than any other archer out there, period. I am an Olympian because I have the strongest bow arm on the field, period. I am an Olympian because I read the wind better than any other archer out there, period. There's many different ways to use affirmations to make them more actionable, to make them stronger, because then you start to apply those to that specific aspect of whatever you're wanting to change. So like I said, for me to become an Olympian, I needed to have a strong bow arm. I needed to run my mental program more, and I needed to be better at reading the wind. I also need to overcome my faults. So for example, if I say collapse, when I let go of the string, the number one rule is to continue adding tension backwards through follow through and have a good solid follow through when you shoot a shot. And so say if I was having issues with collapsing, losing that tension when I let go of the string, what I would do is recognize the fault, I collapse, I'm starting to collapse, and write an affirmation that applies to me to overcome a fault that I need to fix. I am an Olympian because I maintain tension and direction through follow through to shoot a strong shot each and every time, period. That is a really strong, really actionable, very specific positive affirmation that I then can use to work on things that I'm not necessarily doing the best that I could possibly be doing at, and something that I've recognized is going to create some sort of limiting factor in the future. So not only do I write them as if I have already achieved them, I'm picking a specific part out of it to actually change, and I'm staying focused on things that I for sure know that I've already recognized that I need to change to make better so I can become that Olympian. So now you know what affirmations are and how to make them more actionable and stronger for you. Now what do you do with them? And what you do with them is you write them down over and over and over again, and you read them over and over and over again. So places that I would put them personally, and where I did in the past, was inside my locker. Each time I opened my locker to get my archery equipment out of it to put it together to go shoot for the day, I'd have a little 3.5 by 5 index card taped on the inside of my locker, and I would have my affirmation written on there, and I would read it. Spend the time each time I opened that door, even if it was just to get an Allen wrench or a part or a piece, or to put my bow together for the beginning of the day, or putting my bow away at the end of the day. Read the affirmation, take a moment to spend some time, even if it's just 2 seconds, to visualize doing that affirmation, achieving what I want to achieve, and being actionable, doing the thing that I need to do to become that thing, right? Every time I open the locker, I read it, and then I close it. Every time I open it to get a part out of it, I read it, and then I close it. And then I believe it, and I feel it, and I try to do that more and more often. I put it on notes. Anytime I would make changes in form, I'd write down notes about what I changed in my form. At the beginning of every day of practice, I'd write my affirmation out manually. And at the end of each practice, I'd write my affirmation out manually as well. I'd read the first one, read the second one the next day, and rewrite them. And they might change over time because I'm starting to monitor and pay attention to my form, my technique, my mental process, my diet, my habits, all of those things. And because I'm faking it till I'm making it, I'm at least recognizing when and how I need to make adjustments because I know I'm not quite living up to that standard of that positive affirmation. Not only that, I would write it on the mirror with a dry erase marker anytime I went to use the bathroom, anytime I went to go blow my nose, anytime I went to take a shower. Doesn't matter, brush my teeth. I read my positive affirmation that I wrote on that mirror with that dry erase marker, and I again spend the time, just a brief moment, to believe it, to think it, and to then change my habit, hopefully over time. Also, anytime I took a shower, the mirror gets wet, you wipe it off, you rewrite it, right? You put it on your car next to your speedometer. You put it anywhere and everywhere you constantly look. Maybe the lock screen on your phone, so every time you unlock it to check your time or see if somebody messaged you or whatever, you see your affirmation written on your screen. Anytime you can, put it somewhere that you're going to be able to read it and to be able to spend some time to believe it and to try to change your habits. It's a really, really strong, powerful tool to use, positive affirmations, and it's something that genuinely made a difference in my entire career. That's why I have this tattoo on my hand that is, I am, period. I put it on my hand in the bow grip area of my hand, so I would check that every single time before I shoot a shot. The reason I had that tattoo and got the tattoo is because there was a time when I wanted to retire. I wanted no more than anything else to quit shooting archery, and this was before I really became anything, because it was so very hard. I was struggling so much, but I knew that I was there for an end goal in mind, to be an Olympian, to make an Olympic team, to represent my country, and to do the best I possibly could to become that champion Olympic archer, at least hope that I could. And I was struggling, and I really wanted to quit, and all of my teammates were shooting better than I was. They got better quicker, and I seemed to struggle just a little bit more than everybody else for some reason. But I knew that I was there for a goal. I am, period. I had to change my attitude. Instead of fighting for what I wanted, I needed to change how I acted and become what I wanted to be, an Olympian. Hey, if you got value out of this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you wouldn't mind, please do share this video. Genuinely, it helps this channel grow. I don't operate any other social media, and I rely on you to help spread the word about the channel. Also, if you wouldn't mind, please do consider supporting this channel. There's many different links in the description below. I can't thank my supporters enough. Without you, I wouldn't be able to produce this content, at least not to this level. So thanks.